Hello, and welcome back to the podcast where you are invited for lighthearted conversations about things that matter as you seek to live your most meaningful, beautiful, and joyful life. I'm your host, Dr. Edie Wadsworth, and I hope you enjoy your stay here at the House of Joy. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the House of Joy.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We are so excited about this episode. Number one, we are recording not early in the morning, but kind of first thing in the morning. So
earlier than we
have
normally
a little
do.
Thing going on here. We're also going to be talking about doing a little cortisol reset. So as fall is beginning, schedules are filling up. We're on the home stretch of planning a wedding.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that and 10 simple but powerful ways that you can lower stress and save your sanity. Here's the thing. Here's what we said. Emme goes, since we're doing this early, let's just come in our, whatever, workout, yoga, casual clothes. And she shows up looking so cute.
No, this is so backwards, what you're about to say, because I'll be like, I'm wearing leggings. Like, I literally have on leggings and a workout top. And she had on a similar vibe outfit. And then she goes in and changes because she feels like she's not my vibe. And puts on a button-up shirt. So,
okay, in my defense, what I was trying to do was go more neutral. Because I'm like, oh, you look so cute.
I'm
and
like
so
wearing
neutral.
brown.
I said, I'm going to try to find something more neutral. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my version of neutral.
She's wearing lime neon green, if you're not watching, and a red hat and a green shirt. So
I also noticed that our drinks, my morning kombucha, match our
my drink matches my
outfits. I know.
Shirt.
You've got your LaCroix.
So if you're wanting mom to go casual with you, just know that
here's my casual neutral self.
Right.
It is casual. But
you know what? Never change. Never change. And I can feel myself turning into you because I can't. The older I get, the more I can't wear a casual outfit either.
I know. I can't help myself, guys.
Yeah.
But we do
I
have
love
on our slippers.
athleisure.
I love athleisure. And we do have on our slippers. So everyone notice our cutie.
I don't think they can see them.
Oh, they can't see them.
Oh,
okay.
See, you need to let me know how you like those. What are those called?
I love these. Moo-moos or mew-moos or moos
okay.
or something.
My friend has them. And
I love them.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to try them on.
So here's the crazy thing, talking about stress related to the wedding. The wedding, as we're recording this, the wedding is 7 weeks away, I think.
6 maybe? I don't know.
6.5, 7 weeks away. And, you came home and said, I went to a wedding this past weekend and now I'm not stressed about all the things we're stressing about don't matter. And I think that's so true about so many things in life. The things that we think are such a big whatever end up in the end not mattering. AKA me stressing about Tom's Bible test today.
Bro, oh my gosh. I made a mental note to bring this up on the podcast because there is such a difference. Like, you know how people say moms treat their sons different than their daughters? It is so true, especially younger sons. Like, I know Thomas is also a rare case because he is so much younger. Y'all are like different people.
We're different people
as parents, so of course it's going to be different. I've
always been a little bit like this though.
But like,
I do love
mom,
to study
first
for a
of all,
test.
you love studying. And so this morning I'm like up there working and witnessing mom trying to help Thomas study for his Bible test today. And she's written out all of his notes on her own paper. And she knows every answer to all of them. She has them completely memorized.
Of course.
And then we're doing it in the car. And like, you're so good at it. But what really killed me is when we got back home, mom is audio texting.
First of all, Tom was at football practice early this morning. So I knew when I was texting him this morning, I knew
he wasn't in school yet.
He wasn't in school yet. He's changing, getting ready to go into school.
Yes, so you're not breaking any rules, but he's probably walking to school. You know, he has his watch on, so he's like getting a ding or whatever. And she's voice texting like, what are the 3 biblical themes
for the world?
For what biblical worldview themes or whatever? And she's like, creation. She's texting this. I was like, what are you doing?
The questions and the answers to ones that I felt like he knew, but it would take him a minute.
I was like, by the way, you would have never done this for me and Ellie. Like, we were on our own, kid. You would help us study, but like to go as far as the morning of to text you,
voice texting.
Yes, it is a whole nother level, and he does not understand.
He would text back, stop,
mom,
stop.
I know he is so embarrassed.
I mean, here's the way I feel. Honestly, I wish I could go take the Bible test. Because I would
you would
literally
ace it. Oh, another thing that was cracking me up about the Bible test is last night, Tom has his best friend. He's on FaceTime with her. They're like so pure little 12-year-old best friends. She's like putting on a face mask. I hope she doesn't hear this. It's fine.
But we love you.
We love you. But Mom's like, hey girl, what did you get for answer?
I said Tom had written down that the New Testament spanned 4,000 years, but when I don't think this is right. When I look this up, it's literally more like 100 years. And she goes, no,
she's like, I'll text it to Tom tomorrow. What my answer was. It's just hilarious. Like, she's pulling through. You're mooching off of his friend. She's like, oh, Miss Edie, I'll get it for you. Tom has no care in the world. Like, doesn't even know what you're talking about.
No. And I am really curious how we're going to do on this test because we've really studied for it, people. Okay. Back to cortisol. You guys, you know this if you've listened to the pod for a while. This is something that Miss Edie, with her, I don't even have a type A personality, but I just am so into so many things.
Yeah, you are.
That I can just burn out my adrenal glands. I can just have my cortisol be elevated
at all times.
For the dumbest reasons, at all times. It could be a knitting project, to be honest. And I can just go so hard on the knitting or whatever it is. I can just take anything and burn my adrenal glands out with it.
I was listening to a podcast on cortisol to just have some knowledge because I know what cortisol is, but
you haven't lived enough to burn your adrenals out like your mother?
Not truly. And also, I feel like it's such a buzzword that you think you know what it is. Yeah. It feels like cortisol just equals stress.
Right.
And that's not necessarily true at all.
And we need it. It's a must-have.
It's a must-have. And actually, what I found so interesting, and I think this is a great way to start because it's not, if you think that it's just stress, then the way that you're going to try to lower it might be the wrong way.
Yep.
If you're just thinking, oh, like cortisol equals stress. And I thought it was so interesting because I feel like the conversations around it is like cortisol equals bad. And I didn't even realize like,
no,
you actually want your cortisol
that we need access to. Yeah.
And you need it, and it needs to be high at certain times of the day.
Yes.
And it needs to be low at other times. So I thought that was really interesting because I think it's so much more talked about, but not like the science of it and actually what it's doing.
Yes.
So I'll link the Huberman podcast because we're going to go more practical.
Yeah. We're going to go more practical, but he goes deep into the science. But
he goes into the science, and it's very interesting, and it really helped me think about doing these things. It's not just how you do them. It's also like the time of day because he was saying that, which you might go into this, but I just thought this was so interesting. Mm-hmm. It goes into your circadian rhythm. I know you know all this, but there's a rhythm to your cortisol. And
tied to your circadian rhythm.
Yes.
When you wake up, when the sun comes up, when the sun goes down.
Yes. And so really how to set yourself up where you don't even have to think about these things as much is like going to bed and waking up and getting 8 hours of sleep. He was like, because your cortisol rises.
Getting sleep earlier in the night than later in the night.
Because what he was saying is actually there's like phases of cortisol, how it goes throughout your day. But in your sleep, like you want it to be low when you go to sleep and the first few hours of sleep. But actually it's rising that's what wakes you up. Is your cortisol rising. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And he was like, you want your cortisol to be high the first hour of waking up.
Of the day, yes.
And I didn't realize that.
That's what wakes you up.
Yes, that's what wakes you up, but you want to keep it high for the first hour so that it can have a natural progression down.
To go lower.
Anyway, I thought it was so interesting, and the more you know the science of it, the more you know why it's working, and it can help you inform like why you should go to bed, why you should wake up at a certain time, why you need 8 hours of sleep. I didn't even realize, like, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but one of them,
span of time where it's lower.
If you only get 6 hours of sleep, your cortisol can't rise all the way.
Yes.
And it rises the most during
REM
REM
feel
sleep.
So tired if you have to wake up at 4 in the morning.
So I just thought that was so interesting, and it helped. Like, sleep is so important. Of course, we know that, but it just helped me think of it differently. Yeah.
And so so we have to have it. It wakes us up in the morning. This is the problem also with running on adrenaline and cortisol for too long, is that your body can't keep sustaining that. So then instead of having high cortisol all the time, it bottoms out. You kind of get adrenal fatigue where your adrenals can't keep up. So then it's low. So then you feel low energy.
Yes.
And so we need it to wake us up in the morning. It helps balance blood sugar. It's very tied to blood sugar. We'll talk about that a little bit more. It's very much needed for your immune system, for inflammation. There's like so many areas.
And it gives you a good picture, like if you have like kind of an opposite schedule, like how to know if your cortisol is off a little bit or if it's high or low. Like, do you feel low energy in the morning or all day? Probably tied to cortisol.
Yes.
Do you have low energy and then right before bed your brain is racing and you're wired? Yeah, you're probably on a bad schedule.
Your cortisol all screwed up. Yeah. And the problem comes when it stays elevated all the time, which can happen with a lot of us, especially in midlife. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, how it's tied to your female hormones, but especially in midlife, or even if you're a younger person, but you're burning the midnight oil all the time and your sleep cycle's all messed up and, all of that. But when it's high all the time, it really affects everything. It affects your sleep quality, very much your blood sugar. This is a lot of times I tell women all the time, you will not get your female hormones balanced if you don't address cortisol. Because if you ask your body, because cortisol is tied to your fight or flight. So you need it for when you do need that burst of energy.
Right.
So you need access to cortisol stores. But when you're constantly telling your body, this is an emergency, this is an emergency, this is an emergency, we need,
and it doesn't,
I'm stressed. Your body will prioritize that stress always over the things that your body needs for sustaining growth and development, digestion, reproduction. So if you ask your body to either make stress hormone or female hormones, it's always going to prioritize the stress. It's always going to make that first, if that's what you're asking it to make, by telling your brain, this is an emergency. We should be stressed about this and this and this. It's always going to prioritize that over making female hormones over your digestion. So another thing is that your digestion way slows down, and it can really, impact your life. Your immune system is really impacted by this. And for women, mood, very much mood can be tied to this. Also because of the female hormone thing. One of the things that scientists, because the mother hormone of all of these hormones, pregnenolone, is the same hormone. When you're asking your body to create stress hormones all the time, it will not make progesterone. And so progesterone is the hormone that we need to feel tired and sleepy, to have our libido, our that desire. So if you keep asking your body to just make stress hormone over and over and over again, which is how I've lived a lot of my life, and you can do that, and it just becomes a habit. For me, for literally 40 years, it became my habit to just live constantly.
Well, you don't even really know that there's,
you don't even know that
different
way
to be.
So, but yeah, we will link the other podcasts because we're not so much going to go all into the science, although I think the science is really fascinating.
Well, it's fascinating, and I think it helps you so much, like, have a different perspective on your body and what is going on inside of you. It's not just like, oh, I feel stressed, and that's what's caught. It's not just so simple.
Yeah.
But also it is so informative on how to use these things we're going to talk about today to actually help you.
Yes.
Because if you don't know what's actually going on, how are you actually going to care to use the practical tips,
Yes.
right?
Right. So we're going to share some practical ways that this is literally what I have found over the last 10 years since I've been working on this for myself, to not live constantly in this mode. And even though I've been following my blood work and it's way, way better, I will still go through some periods of time where I just slip back into it. And so the first thing that I would say that has really helped me is my mindset around it and staying aware. So this is why we thought this would be such a good time to do it, because when we're ramping up our schedules, and for you and I, as we're getting toward the wedding, there's going to be a tendency as you get closer to a busy time or some big event.
Right. And we're just getting out of summer.
That.
I'm sure most people, like, now all their kids are in, you know, sports and all these things. It's all ramping up to where our schedules are, like, you know, they're more scheduled but a lot busier.
Yeah. But with that, you can tell yourself the story, like, this is so overwhelming. I think it would be easy for people planning a wedding to do this. This is all so overwhelming. What we keep saying, and I love this, and I do feel like it's true, but I think you make it true by continuing to say it, is, I just can't wait. This is going to be so fun. This is going to be such a great party. I can't wait till all our friends and family are together. And I think if we keep that in mind, the big picture, the connection that we want, having everybody together, the time that we get to spend with everybody, I think keeping that top of mind, the mindset around it is so important. So you can give two people the same two set of circumstances, and one person will create a life-giving experience out of that. And even though it might be, quote unquote, a busy time, not come out of it with, you know, their hormones all crazy and jacked up. You give somebody else the same thing, and the way they think about it, so then the way their emotions respond to it, it can create a whole different scenario. So I think being so aware of that, one of the ways that I do that is journaling. So just sitting down, you know, sitting down and planning your day. We talked about that this morning. We were like, hey, we've got a few hours left together for podcasting today. Let's do a little bit on the wedding. And you came up with a couple of ideas that we could do. So planning, journaling, taking a little bit of time to separate yourself from all the things going on, to really think about the big picture. Like, what do I want this to be about? I have to do this, you know, when it's, we were talking about Tom this morning, but like 7th grade is really hard. There's a lot going on. I have to admit that in the first couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, this is going to be rough. Like there's just a lot of work. It's staying organized with it. But then, just like we were talking about today, I realized, no, this is my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. I love this stuff. I love school. And, you know, I can help him hopefully adopt some of my ways of thinking about it. That you can make this fun, that you can, you know, try your best to stay organized. So your way of looking at things has such a profound effect on how your body responds to that. Because your body is always responding to your thoughts, your beliefs, what story you're telling yourself about this thing, this event, this schedule, this season of life that maybe feels hard and overwhelming. You have so much agency over whether or not you experience that in a way that feels like you want it to, or in a way that feels like, well, that was just a big wad of stress.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I have had to keep in mind, because I've been so busy, and I think it's, especially with wedding planning, I know we keep talking about that, but it's like when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to not talk about it. But most everyone's attitude towards that is like, it's stressful. And honestly, like, I could tell the last couple weeks, I just am taking that on because it feels like it has to be that way. Yeah. And I am busy, and it's like, you still have work. You still want to eat healthy. You still want to, it does feel like a lot, And it's so easy to forget how you want it to feel and that you have that choice in it. And when I actually think of the wedding day or whatever it is that you're stressing about, when you actually think about what you want Tom to experience for his 7th grade or whatever it is, like, I know that it's going to be amazing, and I know that it's going to be so fun, and all of these little things that feel stressful, really, like, we want to do them.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, like, we're putting it on ourselves because we want it to be special, and we want it to be fun, and we want it to look, because we care about those things, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And over the last week, I've just been telling myself, like, no, this is so fun.
This is going to be so fun. Yeah.
And it totally changes the way you look at it. And
I think that's why you had an epiphany kind of over the weekend where it feels like you had a definite change.
No, it's like
in the way you were feeling.
None of it matters in the way where you need to be stressed. Yeah. Because
if we didn't do one more thing,
that's
what you said to me. You said, Mom, if we didn't do one more thing, we're gonna have
an amazing wedding,
have a great party, an amazing day. It's gonna be amazing.
No one would notice.
Oh, that's such a great way to look at it.
Yeah, and then it frees you up because then it's like, oh, but I can do this.
Yes.
Like,
and I want to.
I want to do this little thing when there's no pressure added to it.
Yes.
So that's really helped me.
Yeah, instead of operating from pressure, because a lot of times when it's something that, especially something that we're feeling overwhelmed about, we tell ourselves, well, I have to do this, instead of, no, I'm choosing to do this.
Yes, I'm choosing to do this because, like, even eating healthy.
Yeah.
Like, it's been hard because we've been traveling so much, and then you feel this pressure that, like, the wedding's coming up and I want to feel good, but then it's like, no, it's not that big of a deal, and I know I feel better when I do this, and it's not that hard, and it doesn't feel as like you need to be doing this, and then you feel like, oh, I'm just gonna crumble under this pressure, and it doesn't even matter anyway.
And I think it's a great time to practice that kind of resilience, that kind of mental and emotional resilience, because life, especially with something like this where it's not, because life can throw at you so many hard things. And if you practice that kind of mental and emotional resilience in things like what we're talking about, then it's there. It's a skill that you've built. It's a muscle that you've built for yourself for when life throws, really hard things at you.
Yes.
So mindset around the thing, to me, is always number one, most important. Decide how you want to think and feel going into this season, this event, this whatever it is.
Another thing that this is, like, basically saying the same thing that we've been talking about, but I think what I have looked back on the last couple weeks and been kind of not regretful, but just have noticed that has been a result of me being in this high stressful state inwardly, is that I'm just not as present.
Yes.
And that is what the real goal is for me.
Yes.
In all of life.
In all of it.
In all of these things too. It's like with Tom. Yeah. Like, the goal is you want to
enjoy
him.
Yes.
The goal for this is I want to enjoy. We're going to look back at this planning time and go, oh, that was so fun.
Best. I know.
And especially with Haddon being back, like, all these little moments, when you take a step back, it's like, no, this is so special. And when I'm focused on this stress, or actually lack of acknowledging how stressed I am inwardly, it's all you're really thinking about, because I know I'm not showing up the way I want. I feel bad, kind of. You feel tired. It's like all these results of being in that state for too long.
Yeah.
And it just takes you out of the present moment because you're just constantly like in your head. And that is my biggest goal going forward, is I just want to be present, even for the stressful planning. Like, when we were in Memphis, we were stuffing all the invitations. Like, it's an annoying thing unless you're looking at it like
you just go, oh,
this is so fun. Like,
look back on even this.
Yes. And this moment that we get to spend all together.
Thinking
and
about these people that we're inviting and looking forward to spending time with them. Yeah.
So,
and all of life is like that. You're so right. We have the chance to do that with every single thing. And I know that that's exactly, because I know with you guys, even there were things in your childhood that felt stressful. But I always look back at that. I was looking back at that because it's, you know, it's birthday season for you and Katie. And I always look back at that and go, oh, those were the days, you know?
Yeah.
And learning to be present for it, to let go of what feels like, it feels like the stress is necessary. Your brain tries to make you believe it's necessary. But what if it isn't? What if you could just go through this season, this wedding planning, these set of 7th grade circumstances where there's a lot of tests and a lot of, you know, what if you could go through that and really be present, enjoy the parts of it that you can enjoy, and really, you know, even embrace the struggle.
Yeah. And I think honestly, these things that you've listed out and given, really what they do is bring you back into present moments. And I think that's totally the biggest way to regulate yourself.
Yes.
Is to realize that,
yeah,
no, I'm just here right now.
Right now. Yep.
And I want to enjoy.
And that anxiety or stress or overwhelm is always because our mind is somewhere in the future instead of just right here.
Or
right
in the past.
And I think you're right. A lot of these do that. So if we move on to number 2, this is something that Huberman talks a lot about, which is morning sunlight. So getting outside as soon as you can in the morning, getting that early morning sunlight. It's a way that it kind of tells your body, like, okay, it's morning, it's time to wake up. It helps reset your circadian rhythm to do that. I can't see, he recommends, and a lot of people recommend, like that early morning sunlight. I usually can't see the sun right away when I get out, but any amount of sunshine, I try to make it a habit. As soon as I put my coffee on to brew, I will just walk outside. Now, usually that early, the sun is not even out yet, but I just love getting outside, seeing like, okay, what's going on in the day? What's the weather like? And then because I'm taking Tom to school, I am always getting lots of morning sunlight. But morning sunlight is really, really good for you. And here's what I believe. We have so demonized the sun. Like, we've so demonized the sun. And
people will be covering their arms in their cars and
sunshine.
Stuff.
Sunshine is free medicine for us. So get some sun.
Of course, any too much of a good thing can be bad.
Can be too much of a good thing.
But it's not bad.
No.
The sun is there for us.
Yes. Get out in the sun. That early morning sunlight can be really,
that is
really
another thing that when your routine works for you, you can just, like, what works well for my routine is going to the gym early. And so I just automatically am going outside.
Yeah.
And I probably should take like a little bit more time to just take it in, breathe it in.
Yes.
But yeah, that helps me to have like, or else I wouldn't get out normally.
Yeah.
Until
the way our house sits, we get the sunset. We don't get the sunrise right at the house, but at my gym, as soon as I get to the gym, I can see the sunrise. So it's really nice. Third thing is movement, especially the 2 things that we talk about a lot here, which is walking and lifting. By the way, I watched a brand new video podcast, and I'm trying to remember. I think this guy's name is Dan. What is his name? Dan Go, maybe? Anyways, it was talking about, instead of doing 3,000 steps, to do this interval walking where you walk normal for 2 or 3 minutes and then you walk really fast, and then you walk normal and then you walk really fast. Anyways, there's some studies, I guess, that are showing that kind of interval walking is really good for you. But either way, moving your body. This is so, I can't even stress. I was noticing this at the gym the other day, because as soon as I get to the gym, I start really moving my body, like stretching and seeing, like, okay, where's the soreness? Where do I feel tight? Same. And I notice that on the days that I don't go to the gym, like for instance, the days that I keep the grandbabies on Fridays, I don't go to the gym. I'm moving a lot that day, but I'm not as aware of like
your
my
body and what feels. Yes. Yeah.
And I notice that aside from the workout itself and the cardiovascular benefits and the lifting benefits, I just noticed, like, oh, this is such a huge benefit of coming. This stretching out really good in the morning. The deep breathing, figuring out, like, just getting in touch with your body, I think is so powerful.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the movement alone to become a habit is in the midst of me feeling not maybe the most calm and the most like present, I still move every day pretty much. And so you can only be so bad in my head. Like, you can only be so bad off if you're moving every day. Like, there's really only a certain level, like, I mean, mentally, I'm sure, but it just helps me so much that even if I'm not doing any of the other things, like.
We talked about that on the podcast we did with Katie about, she's a nurse practitioner, mental health nurse practitioner, and the studies that show that, 3 days a week of 30 minutes of exercise is equal to, the benefits of being on an antidepressant or something like that.
Like,
it's really
it
powerful.
does work.
And instantly, for like something like walking, instantly can lower cortisol.
Oh, 100%. And I can feel it in my body. Like, I don't want to go. And the second I like start, I can tell, I can like feel a little bit more separated from that stress that I was feeling. I have a little bit more perspective. It gives you legit time to think through why actually things are stressing you out, and that it's not actually that stressful at all, and it's not that big of a thing at all. That has helped me so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, I can't even explain it. I don't know what I would do without it.
And then, even like the lifting of weight, like lifting weights is such a good way to retrain your nervous system, because part of this, I mean, cortisol's effect on your nervous system, part of this is learning how to live more in your parasympathetic nervous system. So your sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight nervous system, where you're all tense and you're trying to escape the proverbial tiger. Your parasympathetic nervous system is your rest, digest, reproduce, like that nervous system where we're kind of thriving instead of surviving, and rewiring ourselves to live more in that. Strength training helps us do that. It's really good for helping balance out and kind of retrain your nervous system. So, and for that, like, I notice that a lot of times if I'm doing a really hard workout, it will be a little hard on my nervous system right then, but it's building resilience.
Yes.
So it's like you're saying, a balance. It's not that having that elevated at all is bad. Having cortisol high is bad. No, it should be high at certain times.
Yeah.
But recognizing the things that you're doing that might keep it too high all the time.
Well, that's another thing too. I think it's important to, like, if you are lifting weights, like, it's really not that good for your body. Well, you might be getting the same results physically, but like to work out late at night, like, it's not all, you're getting your heart rate up right before you go to bed, cortisol up. So that's where it's like, knowing the time of day is also good. And not everyone, I mean, you can't always, have that be a priority, but if your cortisol is something that you feel like you do a lot of the right things, it's interesting to notice, like, okay, well, when am I usually doing these things? Or,
The fourth thing, are we on 4? Yeah. The fourth thing is prioritizing protein and eating in such a way that it really balances your blood sugar. So if your blood sugar is all over the map, that will spike your cortisol. So if you notice that you're feeling this sort of, and this can kind of correspond with mood swings, because if your insulin and blood sugar are up and down and up and down and up and down from eating a lot of processed food, eating a lot of just straight sugar, your cortisol is going to be elevated because of that. And I remember the time in my life when this was the most out of control. I was literally surviving on sugar and coffee, like caffeine and sugar. It was just like my routine to just survive on that. And the first thing that I did to get mine into balance was to stop drinking Diet Cokes that have caffeine in them all day. So now I don't really drink caffeine after my morning caffeine. I have usually kombucha later in the day, and then I'll drink my Ningxia Red. But I don't really, for the most part, unless I'm going out somewhere, which is rare, have caffeine after my morning coffee. And so I think caffeine in the mornings is, for most people, can have a really good benefit, but pay attention if you're doing that all day long, especially because what will happen even with that caffeine is that caffeine will kind of spike your cortisol, which will make you crave sugar. So that's what happened to me. I was just in this yo-yo of like caffeine and sugar all day.
Yep.
So
well, because also sugar makes you crash, so then you feel like you need caffeine.
to come back up. Yeah.
And having caffeine really even past like 2 p.m., your body struggles so hard to, I mean, it's almost physically impossible with that many hours if you're going to bed at a decent time for your body to process through that and be able to be back at a place where it doesn't affect your sleep.
Yes.
Past 2 p.m.
Yep.
Unless you're going to bed
and
really
then,
late.
you know, just some good protein at every meal. That is the one that I do sometimes struggle with, getting enough protein, even though I get good protein, but getting enough protein is tough.
It's hard.
I saw a meme the other day that's like, okay, are we supposed to quit our full-time jobs
to get
so
enough
that we can
protein?
Get our protein in?
No, literally, how do I eat this much all day?
So I kind of understand. But I think a first step for most people would be caffeine and sugar, watching those, because those can get your cortisol out of whack really fast. Next is breathing. You guys, I did not, and I would lump that in with like breathing, pausing, prayer, like just some stillness. But for me, breathing has been one of the things in the last few years that I am so much more conscious of. I read that book years ago by James Nestor called Breathe, and it changed my whole perspective on how important it is.
You say that, and I'm like,
I know.
I feel like I have to take a deep
Especially
breath.
nose breathe, like breathing through your nose like you're supposed to. Big, good, deep breaths. Because when you're being run by cortisol, you don't realize it, but you're just taking shallow breaths a lot of times through your mouth. So I have just become so much more conscious of my breathing, taking deep breaths every time I think about it, making sure I'm breathing through my nose. One of the things that's helped, that you guys make fun of me for, is that mewing, that where you're resting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. So you're closing your mouth, you're resting your tongue at the roof of your mouth, and you're kind of pushing out a little bit on your teeth. That, just being conscious of doing that over the last couple of years, I can't even tell you the benefits. So many benefits.
Yeah.
And I do this at night. So as soon as I lay down at night, I just get conscious of my breath and close my mouth and take some good deep breaths. But I think it's way more regulating, way more important than we think. It reminds me of the Bible test today, where the definition of the word inspiration was on there, meaning God breathed. And I can't tell you how many times I was quizzing Tom on that. There is something about that word that you wouldn't associate with meaning God breathed, but inspired, like the inspired word of God, the God breathed, you know? And so it was just funny to me how so many times we kept saying that, and I kept going, okay, I kept going,
what's inspiration?
What's inspiration? Now we go, breathe in, and Tom will go, stop doing that.
Breathe.
So anyways, but breathing has become like one of those things that I'm just way more conscious of than I ever was.
I know. It honestly makes me reminded that my nose surgery was a flop. And you know those devices that people put on their nose that kind of like opens
flare them
up?
out.
I'm going to need to get one of those and wear it permanently.
So that you can breathe through your nose.
I mean, this is my breath right now in this current moment.
Oh gosh, Em.
I know, it's like ridiculous.
It is.
I don't even have a cold.
I know. We got to get you some help for that.
I know.
Okay, number 6, sleep. Now, as a girl who has worn a fitness tracker for now 6 years or 7 years, I am so adamant about my sleep. I go to bed very early. Still in my menopausal state, this can still be a struggle for me. But for the most part, for somebody my age, I feel like I finally have kind of cracked the code on getting enough sleep, but I have really had to make it a priority.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I go to bed really early, and definitely for my age of people, they're like, you're going to bed at 9? People,
Yes, I am.
I mean, for some people, it's so unheard of because it's so easy to be a night owl.
Yeah.
In this day and age,
Yeah.
like, it lends itself to that way.
Yep.
But if I do not go to bed early, like if I go to bed past, I mean, there are nights, I mean, I definitely stay up sometimes just because it's what we're doing or whatever, but it makes me feel worse than being hungover the next day to stay up past like midnight. I mean, it literally.
I will say that for anybody who's struggling with this, I have an app on my phone called Brain Tap. And for probably 5 years, I've been listening to meditations at night. I love it so much. It's one of the ways that I feel like has rewired my brain. There's a meditation on there called Ask, Believe, and Receive. I bet I have listened to that meditation 700 times. I don't know how many times. So many times. I have most of it memorized. It's long. It's like 20 minutes. But I kind of put it on my phone that sits on my nightstand, kind of lower in the background so I can kind of hear it, but not, not fully.
Not fully
and
consciously.
It is such a great way to go to sleep. Like, I love it. And I love how I feel like, they say that whatever you're thinking about before you go to sleep is what you dream about. Like, it can be the stuff of your dreams. And how easy is it for us to go to, as soon as you lay down, it's like you're saying with your mind being wired, every problem that you've ever had
literally
can come to the surface of your brain. And
that's been happening a lot to me recently. Yeah. With the wedding, it's because like the second your head hits the pillow, you're like, oh, I should have done this. I need to do this tomorrow. I need to do this tomorrow. I need to do this. You think of things you've never even thought of before.
Yeah.
It is bad.
Yeah. And I just think that it is a way that it just gets my brain on a whole other wavelength of thinking about what I really want my life to be about and how I can, be awake to my desires and be in this receiving mode and believe for good things, believe the things God says about me and my life. Like it's just like a reset. Like, okay, there's all these things that you could focus on that you're struggling, struggles or challenges of life. But it just gets me back into the mode of being that I want to be in. And I do think it's been a huge part of my being able to rewire what I feel like was kind of some negative loops that I was in before that.
I need to start doing that, I think.
So anybody who is struggling with this might really help. Also, of course, a few things that I do is dark room. So blackout shades, really cold for most of us, cold. By the way, Tanner got a new, he got I think it's called 8 Sleep, and it's a new, like it's a topper thing that you can put on your mattress. It's kind of expensive, but it circulates water and regulates your body temperature with this water that it pumps in there.
Huh.
Lots of biohackers have been talking about this, so I'm really interested. I may look into that as something I might do at the first of the year.
I'm very interested.
I still am waking up usually around 3:30 or 4 feeling really hot. I don't have technically like hot flashes, but just feeling
that's
really,
been
really
happening
hot.
to me. And our apartment is set to like 67 when we go to bed. It's freezing when I wake up, and it's freezing when I go to bed. And I still will wake up at like 3 a.m. and have to put my covers off.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know.
Well, I'm checking into this. I've got to get an update. I haven't heard lately how he's liking it. Okay, so sleep. That's that. Next one is healthy boundaries with screens. Okay. I feel like I actually don't really struggle with this, except that I need my phone for my meditations.
That's where I do struggle, because people say that like just don't have your phone in the room
I know.
when you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because I use my white noise every night, which is another thing for sleep.
Oh, yeah.
White noise is so helpful. Sometimes that drowns out my...
I don't even usually end up using white noise because my phone is on the meditation, and then I fall asleep while the meditation's on.
I'm so used to it now that if I wake up and it's off, like I can't sleep without it.
Yeah.
But which now I need to just get like a white noise machine because then I probably wouldn't need it.
We should just go analog. White noise machine. How could I get my podcast though, or my
because my alarm, I need an alarm, but now I have my watch, and you can get an alarm on your watch where it just vibrates your wrist.
Yeah.
To wake you up.
Because it's funny. I am so adamant that Tom not have stuff in his room. Like, we charge all of his stuff downstairs, but I don't subscribe to that.
No, literally. Well, it's like, well, I like my evening scroll. I'm sorry.
I don't even evening scroll. I just like my podcasts and meditations. But if you are going to do that, they say, wear the blue light blockers. Don't do it an hour before bed.
This is one that I've known that I need to stop doing for so long. Like, there have been countless podcasts on
that you've listened to
that we have said where no phone an hour before bed, an hour after waking up, and I have yet to fully go there.
Yeah. Well,
so I definitely should do that.
About it then,
yeah. Well, it's one day we have very good intentions around here, but.
Okay. Next is connection and laughter. We just spent the day yesterday with Katie. She came to spend the day with us and we celebrated y'all's birthdays and we got her finally on a podcast, which was so fun. We had so much fun recording with her. You guys, I don't know when this podcast is coming out.
I think after.
When you hear her, you're going to fall in love with her so much. And then we went and played pickleball, and we took a jet ski ride, and we laughed. We just had such a fun day.
It was so fun. It was so, that's always how it is with Katie or any of our siblings, because it's just something different. Like, you find the same things funny, and the things that, really make you laugh are the same. And her humor is just, so exactly what I always need to hear.
I know.
It is so restorative though for your soul. Like, you can feel just feeling so good.
Yeah.
When you leave connection like that.
Yeah.
And I do have a tendency to want to really just be comfortable, hold myself up. The older I get, the more I want to be alone, and I really have to fight I don't know if it comes from laziness or just from really, I do think I recharge.
You need the downtime. I do too. I recharge by myself. Yeah. For sure.
Which is different when you're around certain people. I feel like Sydney or Haddon.
You're normal people. You can recharge.
Yes, I can recharge with other people around. But the older I get, the more I need, it makes you not want to be around, go to some certain functions. And even though I know that once I get there, I'm like, oh, wait, no, this is so good for me.
Yeah.
So I've definitely had to over time, because that never used to be a problem for me. And the older I get, the more it's oh, but I'd rather just watch my show.
I know. Yeah. But I do think that we were so wired for connection, and there's something about it that we desperately need. And we live in such a disconnected world where it's just so easy to not have that real life, in person connection. And I have been really making an effort at it lately, writing down. What I've been doing is going on my planner and going ahead and say invite such and such for coffee, or I just had a coffee date last week, and it was so good. It was somebody that I love that I haven't seen in a while, and it was
I'm sure it's harder for you too, because you've talked about this.
To be very intentional about it.
Yeah, once you have your own kids, your own business, your own life, and everyone does. I can see, because I'm at the age where pretty much all of our friends want to hang out all the time, and we do.
Yeah,
I see my friends multiple times a week.
Yeah,
but I can already see that once you kind of get married and you then have your kids, it's so much harder to make time for that.
Yeah. Well, and even for us, and I have been talking about this, is that we have such a big family that connecting with anybody beyond family.
Yeah, it's
you have to be really intentional about it. But even on Fridays, keeping the boys, for me, that just fills my tank so much. Just spending the day with them, being present, connecting with them. There's just nothing like it. If you need some connection time, find a little kid. Find some babies.
Oh my gosh, it's the best.
You'll get lots of oxytocin.
And they bring you right into the present.
Right into the present. That cortisol will be lowered. You will be feeling so much oxytocin. Oh, I love it. And, we've been having fun, like I said, even through planning a wedding. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
it's like
A
you
point of
have to,
connection
yes,
and so much fun
for sure.
even there. Okay, number 9 is creative endeavors.
Oh, this was a great one.
Oh,
This one is one I need to work on more, for sure.
This is, this season to me feels like, oh my gosh.
I guess that is true. Like, I feel like
wait.
with the wedding, it has opened a lot of the creative. I feel like the space I have to pour into
You're doing
hobbies.
Yes.
The
wedding is your hobby
The wedding is my hobby right now.
That's right. But don't you love this time of year where it could be knitting? I can't wait. It's almost, porch fires, having a fire on the porch season where we can knit and just baking and sourdough and thinking of holiday stuff, like stuff we're doing in the house. Like, I just love things like that. And I can have a tendency, especially if I'm in like a busy season with my business, to not do that as much as I really want to. And I have to I'm going to intentionally sit down and read a book, or my favorite is listening to an audiobook while I knit.
Right.
While I'm sitting on the porch by a fire. But I like this time of the year because I feel like, it's a time of year where it kind of lends itself to
yes, it definitely does. And, it just gives your brain something else to really dive into.
Again, we were kind of wired. We're, made in the image of God. He's a creator. We're made to create. And I think we get in this cycle of consuming so much and not creating. Yesterday, we had filmed a video on making sourdough English muffins. I can't even tell you how much I love making those muffins, how much messing with the dough and cutting the dough out and how they rise. Like, it's just very fulfilling to do things like that with your hands, with your, like being creative in whatever way, feels fulfilling to you. But, if you've been neglecting that, it might be a good way to really lower your stress. I think, again, help you be more present.
Yes, definitely.
Do you have any knitting projects you want to be working on?
Not at this moment. I remember last year when I got done with that blanket,
You're like,
I was like, I'm never doing this again. I will probably do something else again. It's going to be bigger yarn and...
Yay for the bigger yarn. This sweater, by the way, that we knitted last year after Ellie showed us her pattern, I still have like literally this much on the sleeve, and that yarn is so small.
Oh, I totally gave up on that.
That it hurts my hands. And I'm like, I'm going to have to finish it sometime, hopefully this year.
She's been really good about finishing her projects.
She's so good about finishing.
I love to start. I have so much inspiration at the beginning.
I just bought all this new yarn, by the way, for this chunky color block sweater cardigan. I love the pattern. I love it all, but I'm just like, whew, I don't know.
It's
whole
a
new
lot.
project.
It's a lot.
It sure
Maybe
is.
in a couple months.
Okay, after the wedding.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even think about that, to be honest.
Well, true.
I'm like,
We've got the wedding. I mean, don't start a big new project before then, but don't forget.
It exists.
It exists there. It's there.
I probably could have something smaller on a smaller scale that gave me, honestly, like work really does that a lot for me. Like when we, want to have a new design or want to have that does spark a creative, or like this video that we're working on, like that sparks this
some
new
creative energy.
Like I've not done that before. So luckily the nature of my job,
well, I feel that way too. It
really gives me a lot of that sometimes. So
yeah,
that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, I love that. The last thing that we'll mention for lowering cortisol is some like supplements and stuff that we do. So I wanted to mention a few things. I have so loved drinking Ningxia Red. I feel like I talk about it all the time, but it's one of those things that I think adding that to my life, knowing I'm getting this flood of good nutrition, knowing that it balances blood sugar and keeps me, off of that sort of blood sugar roller coaster, I think that has been probably the most important for me, although it doesn't technically, there's not anything in it that technically lowers cortisol, but I feel like it's been such a good overall health supplement for me that it has helped me from being on the blood sugar roller coaster, which in turn keeps my cortisol better balanced. Also, the new supplement that I've been using from Young Living called Daily Hormone Essentials. That one has ashwagandha and maca root, both which are really good at balancing cortisol. So that I have loved. And I don't know, most of our community probably already uses essential oils, but lots and lots of studies of how pure essential oils in your life, however, in your diffuser, how using them on your body, however, directly lower cortisol. So
just the act of filling your diffusers in the morning lowers cortisol. So I don't know about the molecular level of the essential oils. I'm sure that it does, but just filling my diffusers, I can feel peace.
Yeah. Also, I will say that for me, I keep a check on this with my blood work. So I take DHEA and pregnenolone, which helps with keeping that all in check. But that would be something that you would likely need to go get some blood work for. But those are some of my favorite ones that I use.
I was going to say ashwagandha.
Yep.
Me and Han just got a bottle of that from Whole Foods, the liquid kind, which I love doing the liquid kind.
Yeah. Magnesium too. Like, I feel like my magnesium at night really helps with this. I mean, it has so many other benefits. The other thing that is really, really good that I just, in the mornings that I will put in my Ningxia Red is minerals. So if you're not doing some kind of electrolytes or mineral salt, I just add Young Living's mineral essence to my morning Ningxia to get minerals, or to whatever morning. Sometimes I add it to my morning like pre-workout, but minerals are really, really good at helping balance cortisol. And I know you guys drink a lot of electrolytes. I do too. I usually do one packet of that a day. So those salts are really good.
Just remember, did I leave my electrolytes here? I think I did.
I don't know. Which one?
My
Relight? Did you get Relight?
No, it's what is it called? It was one of my favorites one day. BPN strawberry. They're like in a black little tube.
Oh.
It's not packets. It's like a scoopy.
Okay. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. So those are our ways of helping lower cortisol, really enjoying the season, skipping all the sanity that can come with a fuller schedule and whatever else, we all have going on. It's kind of part of like what I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is living more in creation mode instead of default living, and just letting our brains run the show, our subconscious wiring of always living in stress mode, of always going from one, overwhelming thing to the next, because we can just get addicted to that. Yeah. And I know I have been addicted to that in the past. But slowing your life down a little bit with being intentional, doing some journaling, the breath work, intentionally creating your beliefs and your thoughts around what you're doing. I think all of these ways, it's just a way of living more intentionally in a more creative and creation mode way of living versus default living.
And even if you're busy, it's a way to just slow
down
you down.
Yeah.
Even, you can only slow down to certain extents if you're super busy, but it definitely keeps you more present.
Yep. And if you want more help with that, we do have a workshop coming up. Our fall workshop is Design Your Life, Live Your Purpose, Leave Your Legacy. I'm so excited about it. It's at the end of September 24th through the 26th. We'll put the link to sign up below. If you decide to upgrade to the All Access Pass, you're going to get our Purposeful Home series. So we are doing a series of videos. We did our sourdough English muffins. Yes. We're going to do some fall decorating type stuff. So the sort of living in creative mode, living in creation mode, we're going to be talking about that this month as it relates to home, which is just a bonus for the workshop. So there's going to be lots of fun stuff going on. We'd love to have you. Our workshops are literally life-changing for so many people. For the price of a Starbucks, you can join us. So just find the link in the show notes.
Yes.
Thanks, Em. That was a
great episode. We love spending our days with you. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.